What's up, Gooners and Goonettes? I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been playing Where Winds Meet these days. Well, I got something for you guys. This is Where Winds Meet with Asian Baddies.
左右错步调有我专属的节奏，做到有痛过以后才能一起走。多迷惑，如果谁还想与谁牵手 ，Whoever says yes, I say no。来吧，摇曳月色，裙摆弧度随一起跳支探戈。呜啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦来探戈。呜啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦 ，It's time to go。呜啦啦啦啦啦啦啦，呜啦啦啦 turn and roll。呜啦啦啦，呜啦啦啦，呜啦啦来探戈。
If you like wuxia ciencia stuff, then you've come to the right Goon review, because this one is about the sequel to the series that started it all, Knowledge or No Lady. The original cast is back, of course: Serena, Avril, and Ada Ouyang, lesser known by their actresses Wang Han, Ma Qianqian, and Chen Man. Alongside those three, there are additional casts in place of the other three: Lia Bai, Nico, and Nikita. Though Lia Bai and Nico are in the game as non-pursuable love interests. The consensus is that the game doesn't do as well as its predecessor, but personally, I'm a huge fan of Chinese history, romanticized or not, so this game was a massive, right up my alley kind of game. I will be getting into the game story now, so if you haven't played and you're planning to, then I suggest skipping this part. You reprise the role of Lin Fan, but this time, instead of being the only male student in an all-girls school, you're now the only male cultivator in an all-girls sect. For those of you who are new to this genre, let me break it down for you. In wuxia ciencia storylines, the environment is usually set in ancient China with elements of magic inspired by Buddhist or Taoist ideals. For example, if you've been playing Where Winds Meet, you'll eventually have to choose a sect to join, like the Well of Heaven or Raging Tide. In God Bless Our Goddess, you've already been part of a sect known as the Crane Illusion Sect. You'll start as a lower rank cultivator with your senior sisters ahead of you. Your first senior sister is Lan Yunro, Bai Wanwan, your second senior sister, your third senior sister, Lei Xiaoyu, Lei Xianjun, and finally the sect leader led by your Shifu Jing Wuyu.
我这是在哪儿啊？怎么有点湿？师傅。
好看吗？
Throughout the story, you'll meet a couple of new characters and some more elements of world building, which I think is done reasonably well. There's like sections in the game that show you the map of the world you're in, which is cool, and there's like subplots you can watch that give you a glimpse into each character.
哎呀，哎，大师姐，你今天不是休沐吗？
休沐
啊，
我可没那个闲工夫。
云柔啊，我烧了点热水，待会儿你沐浴一下啊。
谢谢公孙大娘。
沐浴？
怎么，你有想法？
没有。啊，二师姐，这门怎么虚掩着呢？我不妨进去看看。二师姐不在，刚好可以一探究竟。胡姐，你可以当做没看见我吗？再见啊！赶紧走，赶紧走。
That's one of the biggest positives of the game, I think, is that they really focus on fleshing out the characters in the game. For example, Lei Xiao, who is not even a main love interest, The deaths actually give her quite a comprehensive character profile where she has like a mysterious backstory involving the Heaven's Tribulation. Although I think the characters with the most interesting profiles here are Bai Wanwan and your Shifu Jing Wuyu. I don't want to give too much away, but I gotta say that Bai Wanwan is probably the most interesting character here because unlike the rest of the crew, she's formerly a demon who experienced an accident and was recruited by your Shifu to become a cultivator. As a matter of fact, your Shifu Jing Wuyu is also another interesting character because she's the highest level cultivator of your sect and is widely regarded to be one of the strongest in this world. You won't find out until much later though that she's responsible for saving you from an enemy cultivator who wanted your young spiritual roots. In terms of like her actual background, there's definitely more that could be done, but the interaction between our main character and her is very well crafted. I also like that they went all in with the wuxia xianxia theme and actually put in the work with some great visuals like the fight scenes.
欺人太甚，果然有其师必有其徒。
让我来。
都给我住手！
林凡师兄，得罪了。
你输了，可以停手。我这是要死了吗？
兄贵们的情报有误，他居然堪比化神期。
我的灵力不停地在流失，他能吞噬灵力。
Your powers can't hold me down too long.
I just wish the wuxia xianxia elements were a little more comprehensive though, like we actually get to go on quests or side missions. Like this mission from the earlier chapter where Bai Wanwan gets accused of being a demon spy by the Grand Elder and we have to go fight some demon.
已经很清楚了，刚才白婉婉身上有妖力波动，一定是混入宗门的妖族奸细，在后山杀害凡的也是他。
姿势体大，我相信二师妹她不会做杀人的事，杀人也好，妖也好，还请大长老拿出证据来。
大长老，你不也没证据吗？如果说谁修为最高，谁说了就算，那整个修仙界岂不是师傅就可以为所欲为？
你以为你师傅干这种事儿干得少了吗？你问问你的师姐们。
啊？那我们抛开师傅不谈。
晚了，抛不开了。
你非要这样的话，我拼了清白不要。等师傅回来，跟他说你非礼我，要夺我元阳。
漂亮，我作证。
我会去后山抓住真凶，还二师姐一个清白的。
给你3日时间，3日过后，你要是还是胡搅蛮缠，我便是夺了你元阳又如何？
你敢？
你想想，
你夺啊，有本事你夺呀！我从我夺的是。
小师弟，你赢了。
I'm a huge fan of this genre and I thought they could have done a little more. I get that at the end of the day, it's a gooner game, but like, you know, I played those Mountain and Sea Studio games and I feel like with the cast of actresses they have at their disposal, it's not even a question to really flesh out the world building here. They have such a strong cast of characters. I've got absolutely nothing but praise for them because they're all extremely talented. Jing Wuyu, Lan Yunro, Bai Wanwan, and even the third senior sister Lei Xiao's characters are so well crafted and interesting. Like if the wuxia xianxia elements were a little more well defined to complement the characters in the story, I think that would have made it so much better. But then again, this is a gooner game. And if I'm really judging it down to that, then I mean it's like a no-brainer. The game really knocks it out the park. The ingenuity to incorporate the sword innuendo as part of like your core wuxia xianxia skill as a cultivator is just really genius, you know? Then you get the whole thing with yang qi spiritual roots and yin qi spiritual roots, about the complementary and contradictory elements of those spirit roots and whatnot. It just creates this goofy dynamic between you and your first senior sister, Lan Yunro. But of course, the drawback is that you kind of stun lock yourself into this hole where every wuxia xianxia element becomes some sort of innuendo, and that really hampers the world building aspect of the story. It's not really a major problem. I mean, I'd love to see more about the shared history with the third senior sister, Lei Xiao, and your Shifu, Jing Wu Yu, and also Bai Wanwan's story from being a demon spirit to becoming your second senior sister. Even Lan Yunro's history isn't really shown much. We don't really know where our Shifu picked her up from. We just know she has these yin spiritual roots that cause some side effects, and she can only rid of them by breaking through to the deity transformation stage. Speaking of which, Wenren Ranka's character is also a bit underdeveloped. That first mission where she asks you for help to break her arranged marriage with the crown prince of like her neighboring country was kind of quick and easy to solve. I don't know. I guess I expected a fight or something more serious to come out of that little interaction, or maybe it's just because I've been on a Where Winds Meet run lately, but that portion just made me feel so disappointed looking back at it. Then there's Yinpinger and the Masked Moon sect. Apart from the rivalry with our Crane Illusion sect, it feels like there's not much else known about them. Like, what kind of cultivation do they practice over there? Do they have any quirks or traits that are different from ours? I kind of wish we get a little more screen time with the Masked Moon sect, like maybe an impromptu visit or something. Also, while we're on the topic of sect, they did make an effort to have like other sect as well. In that little mini theater section where you get a glimpse of the map of the world, you can see like the little subplots giving you insight into the characters. In one of the Jingwu Yu subplots, there's like some roleplay shit happening, which was like when she infiltrated the Sky Mending sect, which is apparently also a rival sect of ours, to become one of their disciples and caused some trouble there. I wish we also got to go there for a mission or something, you know? Like, it's just a thought, but would be cool, you know? I want to say that I think they nailed the gameplay down pretty well though, because usually for this sort of theme, I think it's great they keep the controls to a minimum. Like, it's all pretty much point and click. So the main focus is on the exploration, because like at the end of the day, you want to explore this fantasy world, right? It's not like it's taking place in the real world, so you don't really need to add in too many mini games with too many controls and make it overcomplicated. One issue I do have is that we get a lot of scenes at the scripture room, and I kind of wish we got to pick out a few books and scriptures to look through. Like, if they couldn't get in more scenes to really just flesh out the surroundings and the world building, you could do it through the scriptures. I think that would be really helpful.
我这边什么都没发现，你们呢？科尔，平儿？哎，他们俩在看什么呢？
I almost forgot one other thing I want to point out is the Pan Suqin and Yin Pinger's rivalry just doesn't feel very smooth to me. Like, it feels kind of forced, and I don't know, it just didn't really sit right. I didn't feel that invested in it. I do like that with Yin Pinger, there's an arc where you go back to visit your sister and you can get a glimpse of what sort of life you live before pursuing this whole cultivation thing. Han Su-jin is probably the least interesting though. She's like introduced much later in the game and doesn't really contribute much to the whole fantasy side of the story. Her side of the story is more grounded in reality, or well, the mortal realm. I mean, it's definitely an important part of the story because some cultivators grow their powers to be protectors as well. But after she gets invited by Jingwu Yu to stay at the Crane Illusion sect, I don't really see much point in her character anymore because she kind of makes tonics and is in the medicine room most of the time.
好痛，到极限了吗？
你没事吧？
我没事，不要紧。
I would say Wenren Ranka and to a greater extent Pan Su-jin are the two weakest links here. But like overall, what I think is that if you're getting into this whole Chinese fantasy thing, wuxia, xianxia, then this is a pretty good introduction to it. Because it's super lighthearted and funny. You got a strong cast of actresses and actors here, plus the concept of the story and world isn't too hard to wrap your head around. I could go on all day about how I absolutely adore this game, but your boys gotta eat. Y'all know we got a new system in place now, the GOON meter. So plug in God bless or goddess / beauty, please don't affect my immortality. I think it places around about 88% on the GOON meter. I think that's a fair score. Maybe a little biased because of the Chinese fantasy theme, but it's not a terrible story and it's backed up by great acting. It's definitely a lot more fun to play than Heartbeat in Thailand in my opinion. That's it for the review. Hopefully Where Winds Meet fans will give this one a go. It's December now anyways. And as always, stay hard, Gooners.
你们没有忘掉我吗？
不管多少次，我都不会忘掉你的。我等你很久了，我还没垫够你呢。你饿了吗？我去给你做碗面。林凡哥哥，
我怎么忘得掉啊？
好了好了，今天是一个开心的日子，大家都要笑。嗨。